If you are wondering which English test is better for you if you want to study abroad, then I have compared two most popular English tests available today, the Duolingo English test and the IELTS. As you know, IELTS has been there for many years and it has been the choice of many students who want to study abroad or who want to migrate to English speaking countries. But IELTS is not the only choice available. You should know that there are other options too, and Duolingo English test is the latest entrant through which you can prove your English skills and get admission to universities around the world. So let's try to compare these two tests, the IELTS and the Duolingo English test. If you try to compare these two tests in terms of convenience, then I would say that Duolingo is quite convenient because you can take the test anytime, you can take it at home. All you need is a reliable internet connection and a computer with microphone and webcam. If you are taking IELTS, then you have to book the test far in advance, and after preparation you have to be available at the venue that they provide. So in terms of convenience, I would say that Duolingo is quite convenient compared to IELTS. In terms of simplicity, I would say that Duolingo English test is quite simple, where they only try to test your English skills rather than the technicalities of doing the exam. In IELTS, I can see that the exam is a little bit more technical than Duolingo, where apart from having a sound English knowledge, if you don't go through the technicalities of doing the exam, then you might score less. Regarding time duration, IELTS is quite lengthy, which takes about 3 hours for the entire test, whereas the Duolingo test is just 1 hour. When it comes to acceptance, IELTS is widely accepted by around 10,000 schools and universities and other organizations around the world, but Duolingo test is accepted by 1,415 schools and universities around the world. When it comes to cost, IELTS will cost you around $200, but Duolingo English test will cost you around $49. So in terms of cost, Duolingo test can be done at a fraction of the cost involved in IELTS. Lastly, if you compare the time duration for results to be out, if you take IELTS, then your results are out after 14 days, whereas if you take Duolingo test, then your results are out within 48 hours, that is within 2 days. In terms of validity, both the tests are valid for 2 years after you take the test, so they are same in terms of validity. In terms of scores, these two tests can be compared as follows. A score of 75 to 80 corresponds to 5 in IELTS, a score of 85 to 90 corresponds to 5.5, a score of 95 to 100 corresponds to 6, a score of 105 to 110 corresponds to 6.5, a score of 115 to 120 corresponds to 7, a score of 125 to 130 corresponds to 7.5, a score of 135 to 140 corresponds to 8, a score of 145 to 150 corresponds to 8.5, and ultimately the score of 155 to 160 in Duolingo corresponds to a score of 9 in IELTS. As someone who has taken both the tests, I feel Duolingo can be a better option to test your English skills because it will cost you less, and at the same time you can take the test at the comfort of your home. But the choice is dependent on individual and the university that you are applying to. If the university that you are applying accepts Duolingo test, then you can certainly go for the test, or else you can do IELTS, which is much more widely accepted. Me having done the exam few days back, I have just received my scores, and my score was 125 out of 160. So this score pretty much matches with their score comparison to IELTS, which corresponds to 7.5. So thank you.